Through the end of 2018, we are recapping the year gone by with various sectors that have impacted the market and the economy. Today, Sonal, our colleague, is here with a look back at the city gas distribution industry and what the triggers have been for this industry this year. Sonal, over to you.
Thanks a lot for that. And yes, one sector that caught everyone's eye this year has to be the city gas distribution space. And the government has lined up investments of over 1.1 trillion rupees in next 10 years to build this sector. Currently, the city gas covers around 81 geographies in 21 union territories and states serviced by around 31 odd companies. But 2018 particularly was a giant leap for the sector. In the 9 CGD bid round, 86 new geographical areas were offered. This compares with 91 geographical areas that have been awarded so far in the 8 CGD rounds. The 10 CGD round is offering around 50 geographical areas where the technical bids and the letter of intent is expected to be issued in February of 2019. And government's push for cleaner fuel has definitely led to exponential growth in the sector in last few months, and the oil products demand has also fallen down considerably. On the other hand, the domestic gas production came in at 90 MMSCMD, implying a 11-month high production figure that is looking good for the gas sector as a whole. But let's talk about the gas consumption trends that in the country. On an average, India consumes around 160 to 168 MMSCMD of gas, and gas consumption has been increasing in last few years. Out of this consumption, 47 to 48% is serviced in the form of LNG that is imported, and the rest is produced domestically by the country. And this mix has been quite stable in the last few years. And amongst the sectors that consume the maximum amount of gas, power sector consumes close to 23.5%, followed by fertilizer and city gas distribution space. And it's interesting to know that the consumption in city gas sector has increased around 11% on a YY basis and 2% sequentially in this month of October 2018. And gradually, there's a shift in gas consumption towards the city gas distribution sector that has come up for you on the screen. And not only CGD companies, even the oil marketing companies are betting big on this space, and winners in the 9 CGD bid included names like Indian Oil Corporation, Bharat Gas Resources, Gale Gas, and also Adani Gas, to name a few. Recently, Ashoka Buildcon also confirmed a 150 crore investment in the city gas arm that is funded by a Morgan Stanley fund. And the city gas business is expected to see strong growth, and it is expected that by 2030, the total CGD demand in the country would be around 69 MMSCMD, that is 3 times the 23 MMSCMD estimated as on 2018. And the sector offers a lot of opportunities in terms of economic tailwinds, as the CNG prices, of course, are 40 to 45% lower than the petrol and diesel products. Also, the per capita consumption is 1/3 of global average in India. But of course, infrastructure challenges are something that the government has to carry forward, and they will restrict the CNG volume growth. So that is something that you have to take care of. But apart from a few supply side deficiencies, which we believe can be addressed, the sector has immense potential for growth. Back to you.
Oh, thank you very much, Sonal, for that. We feel like experts in city gas distribution with that backdrop. And we have one genuinely known expert to tell us more about this sector, D.K. Sharif, Chairperson of Petroleum and Natural Gas Regulatory Board, what we call the PNGRB, joining us now. Good morning, Mr. Sharif. Thank you very much indeed for joining us. We needed that backdrop to be educated about what happened in 2018. But you tell us, Sonal left us with a futuristic statement that demand for city gas by 2030 could increase 3 times its level in 2020. Do you agree that that could be the kind of demand growth? And is the government prepared with a blueprint to service that kind of demand?
Yeah, these numbers can even be exceeded if we take necessary steps for creation of CGD infrastructure, as well as creation of infrastructure on natural gas trunk pipelines. For example, the year 2018 was an eventful year so far as Petroleum and Natural Gas Regulatory Board, PNGRB, is concerned. We had completed some of the leftover geographical areas award for the 8th round, and then we completed some 6 areas which were awarded to GAIL on nomination basis. And after that, we launched ninth CGD bidding round, which was a very big success. 86 geographical areas were offered, covering 174 districts of India, and which covered also more than 25% of Indian population. And all these areas were well subscribed by the investors, and 406 bids were received. We got, as you just said, we got good participation from oil marketing companies, the gas companies like GAIL, IGLs and MGLs, and also some of the foreign bidders, the private sector participants like Torrent and Adani. So everybody was very much enthusiastic, and we also on our side allocated all these areas within 1 month of receiving the bids. So it was a grand success, and enthused by that, now we have already launched. In fact, Honorable Prime Minister launched that on 22nd of November 2018, the 10th CGD bidding round, in which we are covering 50 geographical areas with 124 districts of India. And also to tell you that the total amount of infrastructure to be developed and physical work to be completed in 9th CGD bidding round, 2.2 crore of domestic natural gas connections, 4,600 plus of CNG stations, and more than 1,12,000 inch kilometers of pipeline, the last connectivity pipeline, is to be laid in the areas of 9th CGD bidding round. So with all this and much more which is being done, I am sure that the numbers which you said to be achieved on natural gas consumption by 2030, they would be achieved, and even we can far exceed.
Okay, well, just need to get our viewers' attention back to the markets, because the Sensex is now down almost 300 points. Very swiftly, actually, the Nifty has lost about 100 points. And a lot of heavyweights under pressure now. Infosys is down 2%. You have Reliance that's down 1.5%. Maruti Suzuki is down 3%. So now the market is sort of waking up to the fact that, you know, there's a global decline and a bit of profit taking in our own markets as well. Mr. Sharif, before we, let you go, you said that the 10th round of CGD bids has begun. You guys have invited tenders as well, I understand, for those 50 geographical areas. How has the response been so far, and what is the total investment that you see in terms of a quantum over the next 2 to 3 years?
As I just said you, the 406 bids were received in the 9th CGD bidding round against 86 geographical areas. So on an average about 4.7 bids per area, and there were 10 areas where we got 10 plus bids for each of them. So the response was quite good, and it was response came from all type of companies, the private sector companies, the public sector companies, the foreign companies, and many new bidders were also there. And we expect similar kind of enthusiasm from the investors in the 10th CGD bidding round. So where the investment is concerned, about 70,000 crores of investment is expected to come from 9th CGD bidding round, and about 50,000 of investments may come from the 10th CGD bidding round.
Okay. Mr. Sharif, let's get to other issues. For instance, the pricing of gas. GAIL has been asking for a slightly higher price. Is there anything in the works at all?
No, I think you mean not GAIL. ONGC has been asking for a higher price.
Okay. Yes. Yes.
Yeah. So no, so as the pricing of gas is concerned, that does not come within the purview of PNGRB. That is for Government of India to decide. And so as their demand for higher price is concerned, I think that demand is fair. Because unless the gas price is increased, how the gas production within the country would increase, And because so many exploration has already been done, gas has been discovered, and that gas cannot be produced because, at such a low price. So that is what ONGC has been claiming, and correctly so, but that doesn't come within the purview of PNGRB.
Okay. In terms of price regulations, is there anything that we are looking at? The regasification charges, any changes that we would expect for LNG terminals, or even for, the retail prices and margins?
No, as I said that the gas pricing does not come within the purview of PNGRB, but we feel that when the trading hub comes, there could be certain movements in gas pricing from the government side.
Okay. Well, finally, sir, what is the big plan for LNG? I mean, now we have importing LNG from Russia as well. And there were plans to make India much more dependent on natural gas because it's a cleaner fuel. We do not have enough LNG terminals. Even when gas prices fell globally 2 years ago and Australia was having a surplus gas output, we could not take advantage because we don't have enough terminals. How do you see 2019 and beyond developing this area, LNG terminals and more natural gas use?
Yeah, you are right. If we need to gasify our economy, we would need to create sufficient infrastructure. This infrastructure is both in terms of LNG terminals as well as natural gas trunk pipelines. If we talk of LNG terminals, practically speaking, today we have only two operating terminals which are at Dahej of Petronet LNG and at Hazira of Shell. Other than that, hardly there is anything, but many new terminals are coming. The Kochi terminal of Petronet LNG would also be operational. The terminal at Jaigarh, the terminal, the GSPC's terminal in Gujarat, the IOC's terminal at Ennore, another terminal at Dhamra in the east coast from Adani, and so many more. So new terminals have been coming and would also be coming in future. And the expectation is that within next 2-3 years, the import capacity of LNG would become double. So that is on one side. Similarly, we would also require natural gas trunk pipelines. And just for your information, in the year 2018, 8,250 kilometers of natural gas pipeline was either awarded or some action was taken to put them on bid, etc. So, and that is also expected to be awarded soon. And this 8,250 constitutes more than 50% of 16,000 kilometers of natural gas pipeline, which is operating in the country today.
Okay.
And these pipelines which are coming, they are not in one state or one geography. Okay. That is everywhere in the country, including Northeast.
Okay, that's good to hear, sir. Thank you very much on that extremely optimistic note for joining us. Have a great 2019 yourself. The stock markets are not having a great tail end to 2018, or at least not today. There has been a vertical fall in all the indices. Just pull up the Nifty, the mid-cap indices for you. The mid-cap index actually is down 1% at this juncture. Nifty and Sensex are getting there. The Nifty Bank, which is the outperformer, is also down 0.6, and the advanced declines is cutting a sorry picture of 3 in the red almost, for 1 in the green.
Oh yes, and cash market volumes are piling up now. It's just about 10:30 and it's already 10,000 crores of cash market volume. So not a good sign when you see the market falling on high volume.